welcome everybody. I'll make sure we get a good audio recording here. This is Dr. Lynn from Turning Point Chiropractic, and we want to thank you guys who are here on Facebook Land and you guys who are here live. This is great. This class actually used to be two separate classes, and it's very important because who would say a good night's sleep can actually affect your maybe mood a little bit? Maybe you should ask your spouse that question, right? That'd be a good question to ask, right? Or just your recovery or getting over sick. What's the first thing you do when you feel like you're sick? And you go lay down and take a nap, right? That's where your body recovers. So I taught a class on actually the habits of sleep, and then I taught a class on the products of sleep, like mattresses and pillows and so forth. And I realized that some people, the people who would come to one class would come to both. And I thought, let's save them a trip. So this class is just slightly longer than most of the ones that we do because we combine these two topics. We have some special guests tonight too, which I'm very excited about. I'll introduce them as we get into it. But what I want to do, guys, is make sure that we just do a good job because we're all about reducing stress in our lives the best we can. And sleep is one of the best ways to do that. It's so restorative, and actually some of the things that we were just learning about when I was in chiropractic college have now the pictures kind of been fleshed out. We actually now know what sleep does for us, and one of the biggest things I'll tell you is, let me ask you this question: who here is concerned about like maybe like age-related mental decline, dementia, Alzheimer's? Maybe you've seen it in your family or something like that. I think we're seeing more and more people who are living longer, but sadly their minds have not kept up with their bodies, so to speak, right? And so one thing we've learned is, I remember when I was in chiropractic college, we actually had these, we had our neuroanatomy classes. They said we have these cells that are, there's your neurons that do all the thinking and the acting and so forth. But there's other ones that are attached to them, and they're called glial cells because they can't seem like they kind of hold things together. We don't really know what they do, but someday we will. Well, they've observed this. What happens when you sleep is during those REM cycles, when you actually have the most brain activities, those things are actually doing their thing to actually squeeze the waste products out of yourself. Think of it like what you do during the day that you think and so forth. It's like a sponge. Okay. When you're cleaning a counter, wipe the counter down and say there's been a spill or whatever. As you wipe up, that sponge gets filled with a bunch of junk, right? So you're getting the counter clean, but that's absorbing that stuff. Well, what do you do when it's all done to get the stuff out? You put it underneath the water, you squeeze it, and there you go. You get a nice clean sponge again. Well, these cells actually do that. They actually pump those cells to get the waste products out and the good stuff in. What they've noticed is that people actually have like they just always sleep short, right? The person just they can't get to sleep or they don't get to sleep. They stay up watching TV till way too late and have to get up early the next day. When you start missing your REM cycles of sleep, you actually don't get the same degree of excretion from those cells, and it starts to build up those things that are called either tau proteins or beta amyloid plaques in your brain, and you're actually setting yourself up to actually have reduced mental function as you get older, which I think should get all of our attention, right? So they know that get a good 7 or 8 hours a night is a good thing to get because it's good. So I'll do the first part, guys, on the habits of sleep. I'm just going to just gently get into the things about pillows and mattresses and let our friends here take that over because they actually have some things to share very directly about that, which is really very exciting. So, how to get a good night's sleep, the how and why of it. Oh, I just realized I haven't plugged this in here. Pardon me, guys. So stick this in the computer. Now we're ready to go. Now we're talking here. This is good. So, in this class, guys, what I hope to cover is that, I know that people do believe these things when they come to us because they're patients of ours. They believe that the power of the main body heals the body. That if you give the body what it needs, it can function 100%. When we're deficient or toxic in things that we need or don't need, that creates imbalances. The nice thing is you have the ability to make choices that can dramatically bring you around in a good way to get better results than you may have experienced to this point. We'll talk about that during some sleep. And we'll cover the reasons why we sleep, the health effects, the top ways you get more sleep, and how chiropractic care and lifestyle will actually help with your sleep as well too. Let's just make sure we wait till 5 till we get home. So if I see anybody dozing in here, I might come over and give you a little push. Okay? No. We'll let you sleep peacefully. Okay? Why you need sleep? Okay, I heard a comedian say, says, I told somebody last night I slept like a baby. They said, what do you mean? Well, I woke up wet and crying. Okay? That's not what we mean, right? It'd be nice to sleep that way. But when we have to physically repair it, if we have to only sleep to repair our bodies physically, they say we can probably get by with about 4 hours sleep per night. Growth, I have two teenagers who have gone to that stage where they're in bed all day. They might sleep 10 hours at a time because they're growing. Growth hormone is released at those times. Um, Building your immunity, if you start cutting out sleep, one of the first things you'll see is you'll start getting more colds and flus. It automatically happens. Your immune system becomes very inefficient. You clean out toxic chemicals from your brain. You process the mental events from today's events. Who's ever gone to bed and got a solution to a problem you couldn't figure out in the day? You ever had that? Wake up at 2 a.m. You're like, there you go, Kelly. Like that. I think I couldn't figure out the solution, and that's why you also keep a piece of paper and a pen next to your bed so you can write those down and go back to sleep. Okay. Anyway, and then to restore balance to your central nervous system and a whole bunch more things. Probably the foremost book I've read of this, which I really loved, is actually a book called Why We Sleep by Matthew Walker. You can watch kind of the shortened version of it on his TED Talk on YouTube. You guys know what TED Talks are, where people actually give those talks that are a nice summary of their work. Um, anyway, his whole book goes through is that it's just you just cannot believe the things that sleep benefits you for. I just can't imagine why I used to cut out so much of it. I was hanging around people sometimes who would say that there'll be time to sleep when I'm dead, If you read this book, you'll realize that if you cut out sleep, you're going to get there faster. So we don't want to make sure we don't want that. Okay. Our sleep requirements do change as we age. Okay. So this kind of gives you an idea that of course a newborn's will sleep a lot of the day, sometimes even more than half of it. And then as you get to the years where you're younger, you start to eat less and less. Get through the teen years and so forth. And sometimes seniors may not need as much. Okay. There's a reason why they actually have the early bird discounts at restaurants, right? They're going to get in and get their discounts at 5 p.m. and they head home to bed at 8 o'clock. Well, they're waking up at 4 a.m. to go for their walk or whatever. Things like that. Inadequate sleep effects can produce a whole bunch of things. There's the visual one. You look at that one over there. Cancer, heart disease go up, poor memory, Alzheimer's, poor decision making. Like people just don't have the faculty to consider all the things that would go into a decision. They don't react as well. They actually are more impulsive. You actually consume about 500 calories more per day eating if you don't have enough sleep. You actually eat to kind of stimulate you to stay awake. You're more likely to actually gain weight and become obese. Mental illness, such as depression, gets worse. High severity crash as well, of course, you can imagine that. But what if you've got a lack of sleep before you took the ACT or your driver's test? You're more likely to pass? Probably not, right? Here's one that I couldn't believe. This is kind of a scary thing. They talk about drunk driving versus sleepy drivers. This is why the DOT passed those rules where drunk drivers cannot go more than 6 hours without stopping and sleeping. Because they said drunk drivers react slowly, right? They see something coming and they're kind of out of it and they just go whatever. But a sleeping driver doesn't react at all. They'll go right through the intersection and plow and hit people, and then they wake up and realize the damage they've done. So that's really not a good thing to be a drowsy driver. So in summary, being sleep deprived can make you dull, fat, sick, and crazy. Does that sound like fun? No hands going up? Okay, that's good. Great. So 10 ways you can get better sleep, guys. I'm glad you asked about this. Talk less and do more. Let's apply these things. Number one is try to have a similar to bed and waking time every day if you can. Now, this will vary. If who's been a new mom before, is there anything regular about that? The child wakes up, you feed him, right? But as we go through life, we get in these rhythms. There's a circadian rhythm we need to have there. Our bodies really do work best on 24-hour cycles that are predictable. And as best you can, give yourself visual, auditory, and kinesthetic clues when it's time to wind down. So for us, guys, we try to actually start having the lights go down in our house about 9, 9:30. Try to have our screens going down or going off. And also, have you seen the things where you can actually have less blue light? That's stimulating. You can set your phone to actually have only more red light coming through, which is less stimulating to actually keep you awake. All good things to consider doing. Okay. Number two, have a relaxing bedtime ritual. Some type of light reading. Kids, love their story times at bedtime. Our kids have never outgrew this. We always sit down and talk about our day and we'll watch some videos or something to kind of wind the day down. Soothing music, a warm bath is good. It's meditation or some light form of stretching. This is not qualified as light stretching, but you know what I mean, right? The things you may have learned, like cobra pose or things like this. All great things to just get that rhythm of breathing deeply and winding your body down. Number three, avoid caffeine from late afternoon on. Why is that, B? Well, coffee is, first of all, it's a stimulant, okay? It actually helps block the things that make you feel sleepy. That's how it keeps you awake. But it's also a diuretic. So if you drink coffee before bed, and guess what? You can't get sleep. If you do, you're always getting up to go to the bathroom. That's not real fun. You're saying with 2 different ones, right? Okay, so those are poor choices. Coffee is also highly acidic, and you want to keep your body alkaline as best you can. Exercise most days is very helpful, but not within 3-4 hours of bedtime. Now, I'm one of these rare people. I can literally go to the gym, come home and shower, and be asleep within 30 minutes. That's just me, though. That I believe physiology. Most people say I should not exercise after dinner because I can't get to sleep. But what they've shown is when people exercise regularly, look at this. People who are sedentary, as you go up here from no activity to vigorous activity, what you notice is that people actually they're very good and good sleep. What happens to that group? It gets bigger, doesn't it? Right? Self-reported better sleep when people exercise. It's just great. There's lots of reasons why they think this happens. I'm sure some of it is hormonal. Some of it is actually the feeling of doing a good accomplishment, getting something done. But also, I just know that it actually helps re-elasticize your heart and your arteries to help them just more or less relax. And that's one of the ways that you actually prevent aging too. When your heart and arteries can handle the stress of being expanded and coming back down, your body's going to actually last you a lot longer than if you don't exercise. So it's a great thing there too. Number 5, alcohol before bed is not good. It actually contributes to wakefulness and less quality of sleep. If you look at these 2 different graphs, the white patterns here are people who actually did not have alcohol before bed. The red ones are those who actually had it before. What you'll see is the red ones become more erratic and you don't get as many REM cycles in your sleep. So you actually don't cleanse your brain as well as you would. That's the classic thing you would feel when you wake up with a hangover. People drink too much before bed, just wake up and feel like, wow, not restful at all. They don't have any light or sound because it's so irritating, right? It may put you to sleep, but it'll actually do sleep lighter and less restful. Number 6, avoid eating heavy meals and drinking beverages before bedtime. You get more blood to your GI system and, of course, less to your brain. You release lots of enzymes and hormones, and guess what? When you put that energy in your body, does it just magically leak out through your pores? If you eat 3,000 calories before bed, where's it going to go? right here, right? They say the only people who should actually carb load before a thing like that would be if you're going to run a marathon the next day, then you need to have some energy before bed, that's for sure. At night, there's a lot going on. You should be resting. It can actually cause acid reflux or gastroesophageal reflux disease. If you lay down horizontally, that food can actually come back and pass through your hiatal hernia and give you an irritated esophagus. Okay, that's not getting that going on. Number 7, don't toss and turn. Solve problems before or after bed. So there's lots of good things to actually write down your things you're thinking of. So if you're worried about losing your thought, write it down before bed. If you wake up with an idea, write it down. Read something that's inspirational and relaxing, like those holy scriptures or things like that. When you can't solve the problem right now, you get less sleep, which makes poor decision making. Problems that will still get in the morning. That's one of the things I've always learned, guys. If it's unless it's something urgent, like a deadline tomorrow, I should lose sleep over this. That same problem will be there tomorrow, and I'm going to be a better person when I'm rested to think about it. That's why I love about that. And many times you get solutions, perspective when you're sleeping. And put your journal down at least 1 hour before sleep as well too. Now, try to reduce noise in your sleeping. Sometimes we do this, sometimes not. If you have a snoring partner, you have to address that. That's for sure. Okay. If you live near a busy road, that can be a part of it too. Does anybody here have any neighbors that like to shoot off fireworks when Nebraska wins a game? Sometimes at 12, 10 at night. That's always surprises me. It's not even 4th of July season. If we win a major baseball game, boy, fireworks are going off. Surprise, surprise. We also actually have some foxes in our foxes, they don't just make a noise, they kind of scream. And that's always really been just one of those things like, man, I wish I could just hit well, I shouldn't say it, but a 22 with a silencer, to take these guys out. But there it is. But anyway, there's things you can do, like you can get earphones out of white noise machines, nasal strips for the snores, go to a different room of the basement, and then if it's really bad, we should maybe consider doing a sleep study, right? Make sure the person's not losing oxygen to their brain when they sleep. Have a sleep study to see if there's actually disruption of the normal flow of oxygen too. Number 9, keep your room dark. Light that comes in will actually be irritating, and it throws the synchronization of your suprachiasmatic nuclei, which is one that creates that circadian rhythm. If you throw that out of its normal loop, so things like a simple mask like that can be very helpful. Also, have you seen some of the new drapes, or not drapes, but the blinds they have now that actually can turn and they actually block out like 97% of the light? They're really nice. They developed those for people who work third shift. Okay, it's really hard when you come home. You work all night and you come home as the sun's coming up and you're trying to get some sleep, right? Maybe those people will take their kids to school, they come home and go to bed. Well, the sun's from between 7 a.m. and about 2 in the afternoon, 3 in the afternoon is the brightest time for it. That's when they're trying to sleep. So Hunter Douglas and different companies have come up with these ones that are like this. They make the room so dark that it's like having less than 3 candles, which is wonderful. And then also they say that if you use clocks for sleeping, use ones that have red lights versus the blue ones, right? So if you get an electric alarm clock, the ones that have the red lights, that's really helpful too. But that'll actually help you a lot there too. Number 10, sleep in a light, comfortable clothing and a slightly cool room. This is actually what your body temperature does as you go throughout a day. You start off, the night here like this, you go to bed, and lo and behold, it comes down and your body temperature drops about 2 degrees Celsius. When you wake up, your metabolism starts to get ready for the day, and it actually starts to wake up. And so it goes like this. And so that's that circadian rhythm we kind of talk about. If your environment around you is varying greatly and actually not supporting what you want to do, that's a problem. So let's say that you're trying to get your body cooler to sleep, but the room is like 85 degrees. Who sleeps in a really hot room? I don't sleep well at all in a hot room at all. When I go camping, so things I least like about it is that sometimes the tent is the hottest thing on that campsite. But ideally, to have your room mimic your body's natural temperature drop at that time. A range they give here is between 68 and 68 degrees. Now, some of those will be have their teeth showered if you're sleeping with that cold in the room. But I know some people just have it cool like that. But I recommend no higher than 70 degrees Fahrenheit if you're actually sleeping like that. Okay? The bonus one here, guys, is actually with chiropractic. Now, when we adjust patients, we are not treating sleepfulness or wakefulness. We're actually adjusting your nervous system, which happens to control your entire body, either directly or indirectly, right? So we have seen a lot of people who actually have gotten their spine adjusted and actually seen improvements in their sleep because those nerves regulate everything that your body does. And the power to those organs, the structure of your spine will influence how those nerves work. And vertebral subluxations, without question, cause negative influences on how the nerves actually work. So think about this. Let's say a person actually has misalignment and the nerves being affected here. It goes to my adrenal glands. My adrenal glands should be less active, but they're now being stimulated in an inappropriate way. Can I get to sleep as easily, you think? Absolutely not. Or if this happens to go to my leg and I get a leg cramp in the leg, is that a good idea? Who's ever got that like, oh, you feel the seizure like that? What if it's affecting your stomach or things like that? So to take care of this, we have to have regular chiropractic care to make sure those things stay away. It's not just a theory, it actually does work. Here's a couple articles I just did a literature research on this. These are 2 case studies that I found where they took care of kids, which is one of the best groups to look at in this stuff. Here's a 3-year-old boy who actually had disturbed sleep. He was snoring. He would often have these episodes where he would hold his breath at night. He'd awaken several times. when they examined him, they found misalignments in his upper neck, so upper cervical spine, his thoracics and lumbars. He even had the asymmetry of his skull bones. He was taken care of 3 times a week for 3 weeks, and one time a week after that. All his symptoms resolved under chiropractic care within a month's time. What's beautiful about kids is they just change so darn fast. I've seen adults also improve in their sleep under chiropractic care. I'd say the top 4 or 5 I hear is better digestion, less stress, clearer thinking, and better sleep. But in adults, it takes longer. Here's a kid, a 12-month-old boy, 1-year-old, who was waking 7 or 8 times per night. He was examined, subluxations were found in his upper neck region and thoracics. He was only taken care of 1 time in this study. But this kid started sleeping for 7 hours straight. And at 6 months off, he still had the same things as a toddler. Isn't that cool? Sometimes these kids just change so fast. So again, I would love to see everybody actually start their chiropractic care at this age. But you know what? If you're 50 or 16 and you're just looking into it, it's better late than never, right? Hallelujah. Good things like that. So guys, I would encourage you to take a look at what we shared with you and say, what's one sleep robbing activity that I'm participating in? And what can I actually do? What would be my action plan actually to take care of that thing? I'm here, guys, to help you with that. Also, how I hold myself accountable. What I've done is I have my sleep routine actually programmed in my phone now. It actually recreates it every night. So at 9 o'clock, I comes this thing that says start winding down. So that's my cue. I need to start, getting ready for bed and not doing anything else. My mind sometimes races. When you have your own business, there's never lack of things to do. I can assure you that. I always go home with the things on there, but I have to say, you know what? For today, that's enough. And that gives me enough time to get ready to too. And then the other thing is, guys, who do you know that actually needs to know what you know that hasn't learned this stuff? I'm going to tell you that those things I just reviewed with you are powerful things that you can share with them. You can share with them verbally. You can also point them to this class when we get them recording. Have them go to our Facebook page, become a friend, and watch this class because those things they can powerful steps they can take to get better and healthier. Okay? Do not snooze and lose. Go forth and apply. I'm going to actually go jump into my little thing about mattresses and so forth, products, and then we're going to let our friends here have their time. So let me just go to the next one here, which is, there it is. Whoops. So putting bad sleep to rest. Here we go. So we'll go to the beginning of this one. Yeah, there we go. So this is the class where we talk about, let's say I have all my habits basically taken care of. I'm doing pretty well. I know what I'm eating or not eating before I go to bed. I know what I need to have on or not on when I'm asleep. I know what I need to be thinking about or not thinking about when I go to sleep. But now I go on this mattress, and this is the one I inherited from Aunt Edna, who passed away last year. And this mattress she had for 30 years, right? That could be a problem. Or this is the pillow you actually grew up with when you were a kid, and now it doesn't fit you properly. All important things to keep in mind there. So let's talk about what those things are. So we'll talk about sleeping posture, mattresses, pillows, and things that actually can help you stay in the proper spinal position when you actually sleep there. Once again, guys, your nerves is where you live. The reason I talk about this is because we want to protect that integrity of that system that controls everything else. I've posed this ever since our first year in practice here in Nebraska. I've said, hey, look, if you can name one thing that your body does for you that your nerves don't control either directly or indirectly, if you can name just one, I'll give you $100. And guess what? I've never had to pay it because you're bringing the spinal cord nerves to control everything indirectly and indirectly, right? It regulates your pulse rate, your breathing, your circadian rhythms, and things like that too. So we want to make sure we keep that healthy, healthy, and strong with how we sleep. And that's the only system in your body totally encased in bone for that reason. It's for protection. So let's protect the thing that protects us. That's what I'm saying. Take care of your spine because it takes care of you to keep your nerves working healthy. Structure always determines function. That's what we want to see. So if you can imagine, if we can design a mattress and a sleeping posture that kept us basically aligned and level like this, just take this posture and lay that person down. That'd be great. And then also these curves we should have. Okay? This gives us the structural integrity to resist gravity. This gives us the ability to absorb shock and move. It's an engineering marvel that God did there. I just want to make sure that whatever you choose to sleep on or with, that you don't do things that would actually mess that up. Okay, so things we're going to show you here would be things like that. So how lying postures like standing posture, for sure, we have to make sure we preserve the straightness and the curves there. Gravity's still working on us. And for sure, the more time you would spend sleeping in bad position, the worse it is for you. How it differs is that gravity works on you in different ways. In this case, I'm a column being loaded like this. When I lay down, it comes at me as a whole body like this on the surface. Number two, my muscles and ligaments are definitely more relaxed. When I'm awake and standing, I can make corrections. When I'm sleeping, do you think I make very many corrections? Probably not, because I'm unconscious, right? And then lastly, you want to make sure that the thing is doing the work, the mattress or the chair or whatever you actually have will do lots of those work to make sure you stay aligned. It has an important job. The basic functions of a mattress are, first of all, like I said, it's fourth normal alignment and those curves. Number two, we have to disperse the loads. Now, when I'm standing, my feet do all the work. When I lay down, it's my shoulders, my hips, all the things that are touching the mattress. And the parts that actually are the biggest or that have the most difference is where actually most of that weight's carried by. One of the reasons that you toss and turn at night is because you get soreness, you get lack of blood supply or irritation of those nerves at your key points like your hips and shoulders, and therefore that's less restful. And something has to fill in those gaps. All of us actually have parts that are wider and narrower than other ones too. So if I sleep on my side and there's not enough mattress to come up and actually touch me to keep me supported, guess what? I start to fall into it. And my spine's going to bend and curve, and that's not going to feel very good. It's not going to be good for me long-term health-wise either too. So there's some extreme examples, right? Like a hammock, look at that. If that guy stood up, what would he be standing like? He'd look like this, wouldn't he? Right? Or this person here sleeping on hard ground like in a slumber party, where it's a cement floor beneath them. That would be pretty hard to do too. A good mattress would protect both of those things. Reduce to disperse those pressure loads, like a hammock can disperse the loads, but once again, we said it's not so good. This guy here laying on the floor, he's going to have different points that we can irritate him for sure. And then lastly, to fill in those gaps, again, all that's filling in those gaps there is actually some netting. And in this case, this mattress, do you see how that person's actually curving? That mattress is not doing a proper job. There needs to be something to keep that person more neutral than they currently are sleeping there. Their spine is curving. If I was standing up this way, I'd look like this. So that's not a good support system to have in that situation like that too. What type of mattress should you get, guys? There's lots of good ones out there. I think we have a great one here represented tonight, which is really going to be cool thing. Let's talk about why it's so great. They've been doing some research at Nebraska Wesleyan, right? Yes. Yeah, which is fantastic. Gathering all that data and designing things to actually help you get the best sleep there. But I think there's a lot of different things you can do, and I think they've made them better. For example, the traditional coil mattress, there was always a problem because they used to have those things all woven together. If you sat on one part of the bed, they would just go like this. At least they make them now with individual coils. That's an improvement, right, on that sort of model. With the air mattresses, we can control how much is in there too, and memory foam and so forth. We actually have a memory foam mattress, and when that thing came in, I knew right away we were in a new era because the old mattress would kind of let the heat go away from me. That foam would actually reflect it back to me. In the summer, I always felt like I woke up medium rare. I mean, I was just like, man, I've just been getting cooked at night. So that makes a difference for sure too. But pillows, let's take a look at these real quick, guys, and I'm going to make sure that we give our friends the rest of the time here. A good pillow should do the same thing. Support the alignment of your curves. It should disperse the loads that you have at pressure points and then fill in those gaps. A pillow that is too big or too rigid creates postural distortions. How many people have you seen who read in bed with 2 or 3 pillows beneath their head and they're sleeping like this? Now, if I was standing like this and I couldn't straighten my head, it'd be like, that's a bad thing, right? Why would I actually do that sort of thing? That would not be a good thing. A pillow that's too small can create postural distortions too. And the right materials is essentially very important too. Some of the pillows people are getting to me, man, I think if they brought them in and actually had a pillow fight with those things, we'd have a fatality. They're so hard, right? And there's ones that have no support at all, they're just too soft. Okay. So here's a quick example. This is actually a product line we used to carry. That pillow on top is actually what I measured as. I measured as a large pillow. Now, do you guys see my ear, which is basically the center of gravity for my head, and my shoulder? Is my head neutral? No, I'm being pushed forward on it. So I'm sleeping in the posture I'm trying to correct that actually I get every day when I work on people in the office. On the other hand, if I simply pick the petite pillow, which is 2 sizes smaller, look at my ear and the shoulder. How much closer are we? A lot, right? See, it's not pushing my head forward. That's a better shape and fit for me because the pillow's the right size. And this pillow also does have a nice thing to produce the cervical curves we need there too. If you're a side sleeper, and here's the big pillow. Take a look at this. This pillow is super thick. There's the center of my sternum. What do you see my head being pushed to? The side, right? It's being pushed to the right hand side. Okay, because I'm on my left there. Now, if I pick the small pillow, what do you see? What those dots do? Down right away, don't they? It's not perfect, but it's a whole lot better. So therefore, that's the size pillow I should have both on my back and my side because nature of it. And for sure at home, when I would sink into the mattress, it was important to have a smaller one as well too. Okay? You want to be sure that your midline features of your face are matching up with your clavicle. Now, if you trust your spouse to do this, you can actually do this at home. It's kind of fun. We'll actually have people take a little pen, make a dot here, 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 and right between those things too, and then take a picture at eye level. Don't take it up here because it's being distorted. Get down and snap a photo and bring it in and show me. We'll see if the pillows are fitting it properly. Or you can bring them into the office too. Sometimes, a couple times a month, you'll see somebody laying over their pillow as we actually check to see if it fits them correctly. And then lastly, 2 here is a side sleeper. I definitely like that position. That's a good one. What do you do sometimes when you can't have your weight on like this? You have to roll, don't you? Now, that posture standing would look like this, wouldn't it? Would that be if I was walking down the street towards you like this? Would you say that's normal? No. So this puts a lot of stress on the low back and do that too. So here's one solution: put a pillow between your knees. That's a really good one. Have you ever seen people do that? They actually have different ones for this that are actually designed specifically for that. They have cutouts for your legs. You put it in there. It allows you to stay nice and neutral. And that way you don't have to actually rotate your spine when you're sitting there too. Are you a stomach sleeper? Any stomach sleepers in here? Is there any way to sleep in that position and actually not suffocate yourself unless you turn your head? Probably not, right? So that's what you see here in this picture. This guy, that'd be me. His person's head's like this. Here's one I actually found in a catalog one time. That's called a stomach sleeping pillow. It's actually shaped like a U. So when you sleep in it, your cheeks are resting on there, and actually there's plenty of room for the air to pass through. I like how the person can stay neutral. Isn't that neat? I actually bought one of those. I can't sleep that way all night, but I definitely can take a nap in that position. It's pretty relaxing, actually. But make sure the pillow fits the position you like to be able to sit. Okay? So, guys, that's it. I'm going to stop here. I want to make sure I do a good job introducing our friends. I'll switch over to their thing. So, about probably 4 or 5 years ago, when I merged these classes together into a single class, I was actually one of my state conventions, and they always have some vendors that have great things that chiropractors can use for their patients. And one of them was this thing. I saw there's this bed. I said, that looks pretty cool. And it said, I said, I think I need to go talk to them. Well, I think the first person I met was actually Lynn. Okay. And I like the guy first because of his name. It's fantastic. Okay. Immediate trust, and he was a great guy. But he explained to me, actually, on Mattress Beta, that this is really cool. And so we actually have developed a relationship with them. One thing we actually do is we actually have a product here called a Snoozle. So tonight, I'm not sure where it's at, but we're giving away it's like a little cervical roll that's made from this type of material, right? And it's actually organic latex with an organic cotton, just to use when you travel and just things like that. It's really very handy. And I've seen them there. They're really just great supporters of our profession. They're there every time we have something too. We also have some special guests on too, which is Ron. Is that right? Right. And then Ian. Okay. So this is the whole I Sleep posse right here. This is great. We have them all. And what I want them to do, guys, is talk to you about actually how they design their mattress. It is certainly a great option to have. If you're thinking of getting a new mattress, this is something I want you to consider. What I love about them is they're right here in Lincoln. If I'm not mistaken, in the lineage of this, it was Land and Sky first, right? Yeah. So I actually did have the waterbed from Land and Sky years ago, which has been great. And then I found they have this. And so if you like the idea of this, and you're in the market for a new mattress, or you're thinking, well, we got a new one, we're not so crazy about it, we'll give that to the guest room, they can have that one. They actually have their showroom right here in Lincoln. We can go try these things out. Fantastic material like that. So without further ado, then I'm going to give you the floor. Here you go, sir. All right, let's give a nice turning point welcome, guys. Okay.
That was a great presentation. I don't have anything more to add to that. So what I will do is cover a couple of things that I think are really important that will reinforce what Dr. had to say. A little quick history about anybody have a waterbed or Land and Sky? Yes. No? Okay. I did. In 1988, we started what turned out to be the world's first standalone sleep laboratory. And so a lot of the things that the doctor was talking about tonight were unknown at the time. And we discovered some of those things, and it was like beating our head against the wall trying to get people to listen. But over time now, I think every school kid knows something about the importance of sleep and health. It's part of what they've heard from their parents and their doctor and other healthcare teachers at school or whatever. But back in the beginning, people just assumed sleep really didn't have much to do with anything else in your life. It was just a waste of time. And a lot of people lived that way. They didn't sleep. So find the right button to push here. There we go. So this is a quick, Doctor had it up on his slides, but this is a quick, I want to put the context of what sleep actually looks like if you're measuring it. When we measure it in the lab, we'd be measuring brain waves, muscle tension, heart rate, breath, body temperature. All of these inputs can tell us what sleep stage you are in. And sleep stage to a lot of people is like the ocean. You can't see what's going on down below, but there's this whole system going on. So this is 8 hours of sleep. The red zones are the REM sleep that the doctor was talking about. The stage 1 at the top is just barely like your eyes just closed, but you're really not out. Somebody would say something and you'd probably hear it. Stage 2, now you're starting to get deeper sleep. It take a little nudge to get you to wake up. But by the time you get down to 3 and 4, you're like a log. Now it would take quite a jolt to get you to wake up. So 3 and 4 is where your body itself is doing muscle repair, cells are being repaired, your blood is being cleaned. A lot of physiological things are just looking at the physical part of your body. The red zones are all for the brain. That's the rapid eye movement. So when it was discovered in the early 1950s, they noticed subjects in the lab, their eyes are moving all over the place. Um, so that's the dream state. So you're normally dreaming in REM sleep. And it is cleaning the brain, consolidating memories. Um, they talk about a blood-brain barrier, which now we know really doesn't exist. Things just go back and forth between the brain and your systems. So during REM sleep, your brain is extremely active. It's using a disproportionately huge amount of your energy. Your heart rate goes up. It's almost like running a marathon. Your body is really working to support what that few pounds of brain matter is doing. But when it's done, then all of that stuff it cleaned out of the skull has to get filtered out of your blood. So now you're back in deep sleep and you're filtering the blood and getting the waste out of your body. But to go back to REM sleep for a minute, it takes so much of your body's energy that two things happen. One, a hormone is released that actually paralyzes you. So the major muscle groups cannot move while you're in REM sleep. And because thermal regulation, keeping your body cool, takes so much energy, it shuts that down too. So whatever room temperature is, you're going to drift off to that temperature. The other thing to note is you're in stage 2, a really light sleep stage after every REM period. So when we're designing a bed, it's really a lot of it is about the REM stage because you're paralyzed, so you can't shift to stay comfortable. There's no temperature control, so if the mattress overheats you to medium rare, then there's nothing, it's going to get worse. And then you're in a sleep stage that's very, very light right after REM. So you get uncomfortable in REM, and then you're more aware in stage 2, and that's when most people wake up. So if you wake up and look at the alarm clock or whatever in the middle of the night and you say, oh, it's 3 o'clock and I'm waking up again, that's because you just went into stage 2 after a REM period probably, and it'll be the same time every night. So this is what it looks like in context of an 8-hour sleep. And we'll just look at a couple of hormones. That temperature curve, the blue line, shows the temperature drop that happens when you're first falling to sleep. If you don't have that rapid temperature drop, you won't fall to sleep. You'll have insomnia. So right then is when your body says, okay, I should be in deep sleep. It's prepared for it all day. It's releasing hormones, particularly human growth hormone, which athletes would kill for. In fact, they get in trouble for using it. And also things like cortisol are supposed to drop and melatonin is supposed to go up. That drop in temperature is regulated by when you get up in the morning and light hits your eyes. That's what sets your clock every day. So you don't want light at night because that'll confuse your internal body clock. But in the morning, make sure you get some sunlight or some bright light in your eyes, and then your clock is reset and you'll be sleepy when it comes bedtime. But if you're traveling or for some reason you're working a third shift or whatever, and you get out of sync with that, human growth hormone, repair of your immune system, creation of killer cells, T cells, all those things that fight off the flu and the colds and cancer and all of that are not produced for a night. So you have to be sleeping in sync with that core body temperature, with your circadian rhythm every day. Otherwise, you're asleep, you're unconscious, but you're not getting the benefit. So I don't know why these slides didn't come out right, but I'm going to reinforce, get up at the same time every day. That keeps you in sync with your circadian rhythm. Also, uh, here we go. 8 hours is good. 7 to 8 hours. 7 would be the absolute minimum, but you need 8 hours of contiguous sleep. all the way through, not 4 hour nap and 4 hours at night, but 8 hours at night. A quiet and dark sleep environment for the reasons we talked about with the circadian timing. No caffeine or alcohol. Especially alcohol, you fall to sleep into deep sleep quickly, and then it metabolizes into ketones, and you're going to be up the second half of the night. And now we're getting closer to the mattress itself. So having a mattress that supports you in those REM periods, so you can stay asleep in that stage 2 right after the REM event. One thing we need to do is keep our body in alignment, like you talked about, the doctor talked about, for both spinal alignment, and also you can breathe better. If you're like this, try and take a deep breath. It's hard to do. Now my chest cavity is open. I can breathe. My diaphragm doesn't have pressure on it. So your oxygen levels, CO2 goes down, O2 goes up in your blood. And pressure points, especially in that stage 2 light sleep, will wake you up. The top picture is what our mattress looks like, and I'll talk about how that happens. The bottom, if you can see the orange areas, that's higher pressure. So that's causing enough to, over time, to cause pain. Maybe it's like buying a couch in a store. You sit down, feels great. You get it home, you're watching TV, and after half an hour, you say, whoa, what was I thinking when I bought this couch? It's terrible. So that those orange places will wake you up in the later stages of sleep. And of course, correct standing posture and sleep posture are very similar, where the ear, shoulder, pelvis, and ankle are in alignment. So it's really hard to make those things happen in REM stage where you're paralyzed. And a good mattress and a bad mattress can look a lot alike in a showroom. So iSleep's premise is, if you're going to buy shoes, for instance, and you go to Kmart or Walmart or some discount big box, nobody's going to help you. They can't tell you what's a good shoe or a bad shoe. If you come to us, we're going to consult with you. We're going to see you in the bed. We're going to work with you, and we're literally going to custom build your bed to fit you. And then we have 90 nights where you can try it. If you don't like it, we'll adjust things until we get it perfect for you. As people go to a chiropractor and their postures improve and certain conditions improve, we've even had patients come to us a year or two after they bought the bed and we'll make an adjustment. So that's part of it's like buying a shoe from an athletic store rather than somebody that doesn't even know how a shoe is made. One of the materials we use is also in that pillow, but this is 100% natural latex. So there's no outgassing, there's no processed chemicals. You'll see it's full of holes. So as you move around on the bed, heat is carried away. Air circulation is very good. This is what we use on the top of the mattress. The other thing is that we have an air mattress. So each side of the bed is adjustable for firmness. These things we're trying to do with the posture and the comfort, you can imagine a 100-pound woman and a 200 or 300-pound guy, they're all going to be different. Somebody's got a great neck, great posture. Somebody else has got problems that the doctor needs to work on. All those things need to be taken into account. An airbed does a very good job of adjusting for each side to each sleeper. And then these materials that we put on top are mostly for support for each individual and the comfort for each individual. So you've got a bed that you can adjust to make it comfortable for you, and nobody can tell you what's comfortable except yourself. You've got a push button. You can change it from full firm to soft, in the middle, wherever you want. And meanwhile, we've designed the rest of the bed so it'll support you properly and keep you cool and keep you from waking up in that stage 2. So that is that's the Reader's Digest.
You want to pass it around so they can feel it?
Yeah.
Here, give them a chance to feel it.
The thing about that material is not only is it chemical free, so it's not going to outgas and affect your health that way, it's also very supportive. So the more you squeeze it, the firmer it gets. The same way with your body. As you sink in, it gets more supportive. And we have that in dozens of different firmnesses. And that's part of the magic of the iSleep mattress.
Yeah, she was amazing.
How many years of research went into that?
We started in 1988 in the Sleep Lab. And so, I don't know, let's see, how many years is carry the one? It's about 36 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
So if you have questions, I have to leave for an appointment, but my brother and nephew will be here to talk to you about the mattress, or they'd be happy to make an appointment with you to come to the store and see what the bed's all about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
where is your store?
84th and O Street. I don't know if you all are familiar with that part of town.
Oh, yeah.
Cornhusker Bank's across the street, and Southeast Community College is down the road.
Yeah, they have a wonderful showroom in there where they have the mattress he's describing. There's also one that's just pure latex, right? Too.
We can do that.
Yeah.
also.
Yeah. So,
Thank you so
Yeah.
much for taking your time.
thanks, Lynn. I
Thank
really
you for
appreciate
the
it. Thank
opportunity
you.
to
It's
talk
awesome,
about
buddy. Thank you.
sleep.
Leave your. What did you bring as far as like information for me there? And then I'll take some questions for these guys.
Yeah, so those are like business cards that they just let people know how to find us.
Yeah, it has your address on there. That's
Yeah,
good.
exactly. And of course, the location of Lynn, there's a substantial discount for him, his guests. So I'll leave these up here.
Yeah. They have a really nice descriptor of those things online as well too. Read more about it. So here's my question. So a lot of times people say, well, I know whenever I've tested things out in the store, would it be, like you said, a sofa, a recliner, or this? It always seems good there because it's better than what I had, which is really bad. But what if I end up not? What if it doesn't work for me? Do you guys have any type of like what time do you give them to adjust it, returns, whatever policy on that? Do you have?
So, yeah, so after you've been on the bed for a week or two, you'll start to know if it's right for you. And if you think that it's not, then we'll talk to you about why that would be. It won't be too soft, too firm, or not supportive enough. And so with this material, like I mentioned, we have dozens of that firmness, and it's in layers. And we also do it left and right. So we can fine tune what's happening with the bed to support you, along with your own ability to adjust the bed. And so in the end, if we do what we do and it just doesn't work, we give 100% of the money back. The goal here is to have everybody sleeping enough. So we're not going to get in the way of you doing that. If we can't get it done, you need to find somebody that can. So that's what we want for you.
Nice.
I have a question. So, you guys are right here in Lincoln, which is great for people in Nebraska. What about people who don't live in Nebraska? Can they still?
We ship all over the U.S.
You just don't come to their house.
We just don't go to their house.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, about 90% of our business is out of Nebraska, not in, it's outside of.
Wow.
So, and we do this over the phone. And because once we know, we have a dozen questions or so that can help us understand who we're talking to over the phone. And we then build the bed based on that. Because we only build the one bed. We're not trying to build a soft, medium, firm bed and hope we find the right one. We're finding out what your body type is, what your needs are, and then moving forward from there.
Yeah. Do all the mattresses you have the same features where the tiltable part, the leg part, or is that those features you add in as you go up?
Yeah, we tend to keep that as simple as possible.
Mhm.
We're talking about an adjustable base. So there are a couple options that you can add in. What kind of temperature system you want, if that's important, is an option. It's the only option. The only other option is this base that you're talking about. And those come in, there's probably 50 different versions of that. And so what we do is we pick one that's about 80% up the line. And after that, and you get all the features you can imagine. Under bed lighting, massage, memory, zero G preset buttons. There's very little left you would want to spend money on. But you're welcome to if you want. But so we tend to just carry the one. And well, we carry two. We carry the same thing, but then we have to lose a few features for people that are sensitive to electromagnetic field. We have along with the natural latex, a lot of our customers are very sensitive to chemicals or outgassing, and so we have one that's radio frequency free as well.
That's the not the guess of the mattress, but it's the support
The,
thing.
the adjustable
Yeah.
base part.
Okay, got it. Nice.
Oh,
That's great.
good to know.
I can say from personal experience, guys, having sat in that thing with that 0G position where the feet come up and they do, it's like you're in the space shuttle getting ready to blast off. You're just right in there. It's really nice.
Well, that's exactly how it came about.
Yeah.
That's how developed for the Aspen.
Yep.
Yeah. Then that's built in.
Well, we should give these guys some applause here.
Any questions before did anybody have any? None?
Well,
Jack, go ahead.
You never said anything about like the gel mattresses, in competition.
Yeah.
What
So-
you were presenting here, because me, I get stuck in styrofoam. Or I call it styrofoam.
Right.
But you mold it to you and then you
Yeah.
can't get out of it.
Exactly.
This is the worst mattress we ever tested in the lab, frankly.
The gel ones
Well,
or the memory?
the memory foam. It traps heat and it shapes itself to you, and then if you try to roll over, it tries to pull you. You got to wake up to roll over.
There's no circulation. Right.
Right.
If I'm
You've tried one.
memory foam, hilariously, is just advertising a body impression, right? So, which is one of the worst things, notoriously, that a mattress could ever have. So, remembers your position as a memory would, and then, like you said, it traps heat because it's made of plastic and chemicals, and it keeps it so you can't roll over and you can't find yourself in a healthy and positive position that Dr. Erickson and we spoke about today. It's just memory foam is really kind of a trap in a lot of ways, and this natural latex is kind of a remedy to that because it will spring back instead of holding a position, and it's so porous like a sponge that it will allow air to pass through it very well, as well with our cotton covers. So you won't have to worry about that kind of heat trapping that memory foam and other mattresses will have.
Well, I was in the service and I slept on 3 inches of foam.
Mm-hmm.
About 2.5.
Likely this.
Yeah. But I found that a very comfortable
Yep.
bed.
Yep.
They had aluminum casting for the mattresses.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
The natural latex was was the premium end of the market, and Sears was the big seller, and they did very well with it. But what happened is that a lot of things in commercial, people wanted to lower the price, so you start putting fillers in, pretty much cheaper, and pretty soon the product wasn't very good. And people stopped buying it.
Yeah.
But it was a very nice product. Yeah.
And thank you for your service.
Yeah.
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 Jack, maybe some of that sleeping was the lilting of the boat, rocking you to sleep.
I never had any trouble sleeping on it. I said, well, why don't they just make a foam mattress?
Yeah.
But I think it's like you say, they get into a hard and they stop, and it's funny how they capture you in that.
Mm-hmm.
And
In
you
the
can't
new
move.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right. That's when I was on a cruise ship, we had thin mattresses. So this is way too comfortable to be that thin. And so I tore it apart. And there it was.
Well, guys, here is their information. I would really encourage you to go by and try it out there. I think it's one of those things that to buy a mattress without sleeping, it would be like getting a mail order bride. You want to make sure you know what you're getting, kind of thing, right? As they say.
Doctor.
I'm just kidding. Whatever, like that sort of thing. But it'd be like you just go there and try it out. And my personal experience, I was sharing this beforehand, is that I went there and it had been a busy week, and they put all the pictures up, and within 10 minutes I was out. Brenda's waking me so I can hear the rest of the thing. It was fantastic. So thanks guys, really appreciate being here. Let's give them a thank you guys.